Yeah, I'm gay. That's the first time I've said that out loud, I think. Yeah, it is. Because I don't like putting labels on things. I don't like putting labels on things, and that's what I haven't done this whole time. But it's been helping me acknowledge that that's part of who I am now, and that it's okay to change and evolve and be who I am. Yeah, this is all very new to me still. So, okay, so part 3. And if you're new here, again, welcome in. Drop a sub, drop a like. Welcome to the Juan fam. Um, so yeah, I had led y'all through my past kind of upbringing, my dating relationship experiences, my growing up, um, my spiritual awakening, my how I started to come out of the old and into where we are now. So getting inspired by streamers, being in the streaming communities, watching, like, again, having that safe space with Kai Cenat and his group, The Mafia, and AMP, and literally all Phantom, okay, Agent, Tylil, Rakai, Ray, and then all the people from from Streamer University too, like Nina, okay. Um, just all these different people, Emily CC, all these different streamers. A homie who played in Spider-Man. Uh, I really, like people, like they really made me happy. They really brought me joy. They brought me a sense of it's okay to be who you are and to own that. And you don't have to impress anybody. You don't have to do anything different. Whether if you're online streaming, and 'cause that was the point I was taking on, right? Is I was focusing at that point, I was focusing completely on streaming, like, that was what my dedication, my sole vision was to, but realizing now that each step of the way in doing that, each step of the story, like, they help me live that out in my life, in my daily life, in the daily world. So they gave me that realization, like, online, like, in my streaming and, like, what I was doing, they kept me going in my streaming because I was scared to do it because of everything I'd, discussed, and everything of my past, but I was breaking out of my shell because I wanted to build my own community, and I wanted to reach my dreams, and also, I was like, "This is my job now, like, this is how I'm gonna find my purpose and my way in the world, how I'm gonna become financially stable, how I'm going to make friends," and, all these things. And so all these people inspired me, and also, when I was going through this time still trying to escape my reality, like, they gave me a safe place to be and to be entertained. So, all these different things, and I appreciate all of them for that. Like, they were part of my journey and a part of my story, whether, I'm ever gonna be able to tell them that or not. And you can see it in my videos too, whether I watched people's videos or streams, um, they gave me hope and inspiration and dedication. Hey, welcome in. Shout out to Germany. Oh, yeah, and that was a part of my awakening too, right? Was healing from. Oh, and back to okay, so back to Lil Wayne too. So, like I said, that music was always his music was always a connection point and a high point of my life that brought me understanding and joy and a sense of belonging and love. And that like my brother felt that and it's blurry. It stopped raining out here. But can y'all see me okay? I'm a little bit shaky. Can y'all see me? Can you hear me? Let me know. My phone is low key dying, so I'm gonna try to not I'm gonna try to make this quicker. We're getting to the ending point. Okay. Alright, we're good. Thank you. Um, yeah. So, all of that, um, and I just led to the streaming journey, and each part of that has built my confidence and understanding of myself along the way, and belief in myself, and has shown me a new level of consistency and growth and resiliency within myself, and it has helped empower me. And I just learned each step of the way. It gave me something to be dedicated, consistent to. For 13 well, fifth look, for 13 months now, over a year now, I have been streaming consistently and posting consistently online across apps with no external validation or proof or support. Like, nobody from my old life, nobody from that I've met along the way, like, nobody was in my streams. Nobody's been liking my posts. Nobody's been commenting. But I've continued doing it anyway, and not a lot like, most people would have quit that shit after a month. A month of posting online, especially after being cyberbullied and, all that shit in your whole life, and then to face that, to be honest, and to say unpopular things, or to be who you are, like, whether it's dancing crazy or looking silly, to put that out there online and on social media and have nobody acknowledge it, and then to continue to do that and push through for over a year, that's dedication. That's dedication, that's belief, and that's faith. And that is I without my faith and without the people I look up to, I wouldn't have been able to continue to do it. But continuing to do that and to let myself be seen and heard and to hear myself and see myself, it led me to this point in life where I'm at now, because it was my way of expressing myself. It was my way of understanding myself, of feeling my pain, of having fun on days when there would have been nothing. Instead of just sitting around taking in media, I was making the effort to go do something and to put it out. So again, my healing journey, my streaming journey that started, I started going to the track, started running again, started getting healthy, was reading my Bible, was doing all those things. I was chasing perfectionism at that time, but it was part of my growth and healing, right? Because I had to read the Bible and understand for my own self. And it helped me heal my past and who I was. And that's just me personally. Um, and it helped me heal the grief that I had and to keep believing in something more. And it helped me all these things, right? Like I said, and I've talked about them in different videos. And y'all, again, y'all check out my videos and social media pages. Everything I've learned, I've shared along the way. Um, it helped me to heal things in myself. And it was all part of my self-discovery and self-growth, all these holistic approaches from moving my body physically to having a greater faith to learning psychology and holistic approaches and spiritual approaches, realizing, that we are spirits inside bodies. Oh yeah, so, and the election stuff and back to all of that and opening myself up to the barbs and understanding all this is realizing how big racism played a role in my lifetime too, right? And in the world. Um, because it that's just a whole other thing to unpack and I'm starting to feel drained right now, but I've shared and talked about this too. But it goes back to people seeing what's on the outside and using that to degrade people, whether it be because their color, their sex, gender, their age, like, and then the historical documents of that because of the color of one's skin. The unfairness and cruelty of the world, right? and reading Dr. Maya Angelou, when that heartbreak that I was going through, she was the first her book of all of her collection of poems was the first I read, and realizing, "Still I Rise," that's where Nikki had one of my favorite songs of hers, had gotten that song from, is because and then also B.I.G., um, "Still I Rise," because and that and the it goes back to the Bible too, and people that use faith as a weapon or as a control factor, as again, that is a role that we're used as women and children, and how we're brought up from a young age to behave and be a certain way, and to be attracted to certain individuals, and to be subservient. And and realizing that that's not who Jesus was, and that Jesus loves me unconditionally, and then tells us not to be slaves or servants to other people's opinions or pleasing them, but to do what you think is right, to live by your heart, to serve God how you serve Him, to be authentically you, not do what any other human being says. And so that um, was part of the spiritual journey, right? And then realizing too, like I had said, Lil Wayne, his music was always a happy point and a loving point of my life and my family and stuff. And just realizing, the hate my mother always spewed toward him specifically, um, and his music. Like she would like other artists, like she loved Ti's song "Whatever You Like." Fucking narcissist. But yeah, and that just her hatefulness in all the different areas it was never okay. Just that hate towards her children, towards herself, towards the world. And she was just she was a victim too, right? I can't spend for that's the thing though, is because these people are victims themselves, like they take it on you to be their healer and to feel bad for them, and whatever they do is okay. Like we're the ones that feel bad for them and understand them because, oh, but this happened to them. And so we take on their abuse and be their caregiver and their lover and their fixer. And we abandon ourselves to give them everything they need, and we put the role that they give us. So coming out of all of that, choosing myself, cutting off these old relationships, I gave that ultimatum, and then from there and then got sober, started working out, taking care of myself, having something to live for and work toward again, starting to want to live, and taking in being mindful of my life and my consciousness and my choices, um, working towards something, and cutting off my family too, right? That was the next part, was cutting off and not feeling letting that guilt go, and setting and upholding boundaries. I cut off my family. I lived in the same obviously, I still lived in my mother's apartment, but I just didn't talk to her. I would be gone outside, and then I would be streaming in my room, like, just constantly you know, not talking to her or not asking for anything, or just avoiding her. Um, and I was afraid a lot. Like, it was like I was a child again, like, because I was starting to unpack all these things and realizing these things, and I didn't feel safe. That man had actually got evicted upstairs though, so that, was good. Um, until this other couple moved in, and then I could hear everything, and so I was nervous to be streaming with them there, because like, they could hear everything that I was doing, but I was like, "You know what? It's my li" like, it was all part of the story. Um, and realizing that I have to stop caring what other people think and what their opinion of me is, because it's my life. Like, it's all been a journey that I have been along the way, empowering myself and building that confidence and healing that. And we all feel that in some way or form. Um, but yeah, so that being said, I'm like, that being said, um, sh I cut off my family, and they were just all very hateful and bitter and sad because things that had happened to them, and then, and, like, what I gave was never enough, just like all these relationships I had, and I was always the understander, the best friend, the sister, the helper, like, and then I was just always sensitive and to be blamed or to be the butt of the joke, like, in all these relationships I had, like, friendships, family, the dating, like, like, nothing, I was just constantly overgiving and taking that abuse and wanting love. Um, so finally cutting all those off, taking responsibility, making my own choices, and choosing myself. And so I blocked their numbers. I blocked everybody from my life that I had known, all those people. I had no friends, no family. I was constantly alone. Some days, there would be days at a time I had nobody to talk to. I spent my birthday in bed. I spent holidays streaming. Um, Even on TikTok, when I would get on there and started doing the co-hosting, like, there would be really hateful random people on there, right? So sometimes that'd be the only days I spoke to someone and they'd be really mean. And I still did not stop. Through all this, I have not stopped. And I've continued my path to growth and healing. And I never gave up. I've never given up. And so all of that, I started to go out and have fun and to take pictures again and to do fun things, right? In the last couple months, like, be brave enough to go places alone, to go dancing alone, right? That's how I started this year. It was this year, 2026, I was like, that we're about to do something new. And I started to go out and explore more, like, because I was always afraid of upsetting my mother. She'd be like, "That's what are you doing? This is my," like, I wasn't even allowed to cook for myself or clean my own clothes, and she would put holes in my clothes, and then I would leave a note, right? I would write a note to her, like, either the cat was covered in poo, I had to leave my cat behind. My cat was covered in, like, that's animal abuse and neglect. Like, I would tell her, like, like, and she would just be like, "Oh, no, it's not. You're crazy." That's what any all these people in my they would just say that I was crazy or sensitive instead of being an actual reality and realizing you have to be aware of other people and do things to care for them and to make sure, like, just very selfish, sick people, bro. Hateful and nasty. And I had to shrink and be small, like, hide that I was intelligent, hide that I had love, hide that, I felt good, like, alright. Um, so I'm like, so, yeah, that was draining. So, yeah, but this year I started to go out dancing. Once I had finally, lost weight, was feeling more confident in myself, like, feeling good about myself, start like less depressed, and what I could be, like, choosing to come through each day and, like, see hope and happiness and, you know, feel light. And that there was a new, like, something was finally, a breakthrough was finally gonna happen. My manifesting was finally gonna come to something. That was the hope I held on to, and continue to hold on to. Um, but yeah, I started, and this was all too, I believed that a partner was coming, right? That I was finally going to meet true love and have friends and a sense of belonging, like that my career was gonna come through with online, content creating and streaming, and that I was going to find love and happiness and friendships, and people were gonna be love me for who I am. And so I started going out dancing places. going by myself, like, meeting people, but still being aware now of what I deserve and not overgiving and not just hanging out with people to have people, but to hang out with, choose mutual connections that we actually have like, that actually made me feel alive, not just, oh, want to go to the bar, oh, let's post a picture, oh, let's hook up, like people that actually I could connect with on a real soul personal level. That was my goal, right? After all this that I experienced in life, like I wanted something real. I wanted realness. That was the goal in all this now. I'd fought for myself so hard and so long and had changed all these points in my life that shoot, wha- what I wanted, what I want is real connection and understanding. And that was one of the things I had written down too. This is beautiful. Oh, one of the things I had written down, and listening to Michael Jackson's music too, like music was all part of this healing journey too, right? That's why